Hey folks, this is Mary. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome to the first episode of Swatching Sundays for 2021. I took a bit of a hiatus on Swatching Sundays for the past few months, but I am back, and there were quite a few hurdles for me getting back to Swatching Sundays. The first hurdle was to make a stack of swatch cards, and I knew that I had a pad of watercolor paper here somewhere with a few more sheets left in it, but I looked everywhere, I couldn't find it. So I went to Walmart and bought a new one, and then when I got home, I found the old one, of course. But that's okay. That's just more paper to make cards out of. So I have a nice big stack of them now. So that should last me, for a day or two at least. And the other problem I had was I couldn't find my glass nib pen. I have that Moon Man, it's like a red and pink one, I think. And I swear I just had it, and I've looked for it everywhere, and I couldn't find it. I still haven't been able to find it. So I bit the bullet, and I bought another one. And now they have different colors. I think the first time I bought it, they only had the green and brown one, and they had the pink and red one, or red and purple, whatever it is. But this one is a lovely blue. Ooh, let's see. And I'm playing some music in the background, so if you can hear it, 10 points to anybody who can identify the songs. That's today's challenge, should you choose to accept it. Okay, so here's the pen. It's another Moon Man with the glass nib, which I love. And these are interchangeable, which is exactly why I love this. Number one, the nibs are interchangeable, so if I break this one, I can buy a replacement nib. I don't have to get a whole new pen. And it has a cap. I had some of those beautiful all glass pens before, and I broke two of them, so it was time to get something different, and this is just what I need. And this one does come with a converter and a nib unit, so you can turn it into a regular fountain pen. And this one is one of those Fude nibs, which I've never used before. So at some point I'm going to have to get this pen inked up as a pen and see how it is to write with that. But not today. Today is all about the samples. Oh, but I do have one other thing I wanted to tell you. Or two other things, actually. So I finally got around to exchanging presents with my family for Christmas because I no longer feel like Typhoid Mary. And I didn't think I was going to infect anyone. So we got together and exchanged presents. And my brother and sister-in-law gave me this beautiful table. Excuse me, there was some dust on the camera there. So they gave me this beautiful table. It's a folding table, but it's huge. So I just have acres of space to work with. I think my other folding table was about this big. It was right outside my camera frame, but this one's much larger than that, so that's good. So if I need a little more work room, see, I can move this. Well, it's not quite out of the frame, but that's where the edge of the table is, way over there. And then it has this handle for easy carrying. But anyway, I thought it was super cool, and they gave me this little bag. This is the Eddie Bauer Connect Travel Wallet. And of course, it's intended for you to put your ID, your money, your boarding pass, your passport, whatever in, and then you could zip it up and take it with you. And it comes with a little detachable strap that you can hook up on the little hooks here, or the little loops. But I thought this looked like a little zippered notebook holder. So I got out some of my notebooks. This is a Clairefontaine notebook, and this one is really thick. It has 96 pages, which is a lot of pages for such a small notebook. And I tried to slip this in here. It barely fits. But then, let me see if I can get it in there. It took a little doing to get it in there. I did get it in. So if I slide that in there, then the bottom of it hits the zipper right here, and it's really hard to close it. But you can do it. You can do it, I promise. I'm determined. Okay. So there it is inside the zippered case, but it's a really, really tight fit. So then I wondered, oh, and the rounded corners of the notebook fit in the rounded corners of the carrier, so that's handy. But still, since it's such a tight fit, it'll probably mangle the edges of your notebook. So you could trim the edges if that bothered you. And then I found these other two notebooks. They're not branded, and I don't remember where they came from. I think one of them was included with a journal cover that I purchased. And the other one, this one feels, I don't know, the paper feels really nice, but I don't know. Who knows where these came from? So these are a little bit smaller than the Clairefontaine notebook, and they're a little bit thinner too. So I thought they might fit in here better. So I wanted to try them. Yep, that is a much easier fit. And then it's not so big that it hits the zipper, and then I can zip it right up. So I thought that was cool. And this black one is the same size, so they would fit in here about the same. But, you know, if you just wanted something small to throw in your bag, you could throw a little notebook in here. And since the notebook is thin, you know, maybe you could slip a little pen in there, maybe a Kaweco or something, and put some stickers or washi cards or something in there. So I thought that was cute. I just wanted to share that with you guys. So you don't have to buy a journal cover. You can find all different kinds of things that will hold your supplies. So, was that all I was going to tell you? Let me see. So, yes, this is Swatching Sundays, where I swatch ink samples. And today is the Fountain Pen Friend Edition, the Pen Friend Edition with Fountain Pen Insanity. So, as you may know, I've had a low few months, as many of us have. So Sara over at Fountain Pen Insanity was just an angel of mercy, and she sent me a couple of little packages. One of them was a care package with all kinds of cool stuff in it, stuff that I just love, and this gigantic bag of ink samples. And shame on me, I haven't even opened them yet and looked at them because I'm just now coming out of the mist. But things are getting better, I'm getting better, everything's wonderful. So I thought it was time for me to explore these ink samples. And she also sent me these cool little gadgets that hold ink bottles and ink vials. Oops. Excuse me. And I'll link the video to these below if you want to take a look at them. But these are from Tiltwell on Etsy. And you can see a little sample vial just fits right in there. That was just an unrelated sample. So let's take a look at these samples that she sent me. So we have Diatramentis, Jane Austen. Where's the camera? Can you guys see that? And I just love her handwriting. Her handwriting is so neat and tiny. Diatramentis, Jane Austen. Oh, and did I mention that the sun is shining today? We have a bit of watery sunshine today, so I felt like I needed to do some ink swatching in the light. And this is Diatramentis Mint Turquoise. That sounds very nice. And Sailor Tokiwa. Oh, Tokiwa Matsu. Cool. And J. Herban Bleu Myosotis. Myosotis. It sounds like mitosis, which is cell division, right? Or what's the eye condition? Meiosis? Meiosis? No, that's myopia. Never mind. This is Papier Plume Mardi Gras Indians Purple. Ooh, I don't think I have any Papier Plume ink. And this is Tibaldi Blue. Wow, I never heard of that one. And this is KWZ Grapefruit. Ooh, I was just talking with someone in the messages about KWZ Grapefruit. So now I have some. Yay! In Birmingham Pens, Phipps Conservatory Verbena. Cool. I'm so glad Birmingham Pens is back to making ink. And this is Robert Oster Sydney Lavender. Ooh, this is one that I've heard Manda B talk about a lot. I've never had any in person though. And this is Monteverde Purple Mist. Ooh, that's lovely. I can see that right through the vial. And then we have Diamine Pumpkin. Very nice, a very popular orange. And this is Colorverse Laurel. Ooh, I haven't heard of that one either. Awesome. Okay, So I think most of my other ink racks are in use right now. So I was just wondering if I could fit all of these samples in this thing while I was waiting to swatch them. I just wanted to see how they would fit. And so far so good. I think they're all going to fit. What do you know? Awesome. So this can be our little staging area, and then as I use them, I will put them in this. Oh, and you know what else? I have some paper to put down on this beautiful new table, because, you know, once the ink starts flying, ain't nothing safe. So I don't want to ruin this table the first time I use it. So I think I might have mentioned before, I helped a friend move a few months ago, and I bought a box of packing paper from the U-Haul store, because, you know, U-Haul sells all kinds of packing supplies, and you can buy these boxes of blank newsprint, and you could, of course, you know, they're great for wrapping stuff in, but I've also been using them to, you know, cover my desk, and mostly to cover my desk. So I thought this would be something good to put down. Now, I do miss the beautiful brown of the table. I just know me. I know I'm gonna spill some ink on it, so I don't want to ruin it. So maybe I'll come up with something better for next time. But for now, we're gonna use some paper to protect our table. And there's my water for the glass pen. Okay, let me see. And here are the cards, and here are my swatches in my lovely handmade mug. And I think that's everything. Is that everything? I think so. Oh, and I do have some tea. Our mug today, I don't have that many mugs. I used to have tons of them, but I got rid of them a few years ago. I don't know if you could see that. Again, I'm trying not to spill. But it's a bulldog in front of a star. And this was actually a gift from our security company at the library a couple of years ago. Yes, the library has a security company. We have security there every day, and boy, do we need it. And our tea for today is Constant Comment, one of my favorites. If you've never tried it, you should, because it is lovely. I had to have a sip, and I almost spilled it. Okay, so let's get a swatching. All right, so the swatch goes in there. And what do we have here? Sailor Tokiwa Matsu. I guess I should take the cap off first. All right, and this is my first time using my pen. Oh, it doesn't cap. I think the other one capped, but you know what? I think this one is longer. Okay, can you see that? I think the pink and purple one, or red and purple, whatever it was, I think that one posted. It had threads on it, but this one is longer, and you don't need to post it. Okay, well that's interesting. And I'm going to give him a rinse, just in case, because he's new. Don't want to contaminate anything. Okay, so let's see what we got here. We have Sailor. Goodness, it's been so long since I've done this. I'm so glad to be back to doing it. Tokiwa Matsu. I wonder what that means. I think Japanese is such a cool language. I think I told you about my disastrous 2 weeks in Japanese my freshman year of college. I won't go over that again. It was funny. In a sad way. Oh, I got a cord hanging down. Come here, you. Oh, cords are so tacky. You can't let your cords show. That's like letting your pantyhose show. What am I looking for? Oh, my cotton swab. See, I'm out of practice. I don't have my rhythm down here. Let's see how much sunlight we can get. Ooh. I hope you guys can see this. Even with the window open, it feels kind of dark. Okay, got to get a drip out of it. Need a little more ink. There we go. Whoop! It's about to run off the paper. Oh my goodness, he's going all over the place. I never had a drip go sideways before. That's interesting. Ooh. That's just way too much fun. Okay. I needed a little something to put my Q-tips on, so I found a piece of a paper bag. The creases in this paper are just driving me nuts. I wonder if I can get a little more light out of the window. Okay, I turned some lights on, so I hope that's a little bit better. I also let Gus outside, so he'll probably be barking to come back in any moment. All right. Next up we have Papier Plume, Mardi Gras Indians Purple. Oh, I wonder what Mardi Gras is going to be like this year. Probably not very exciting. Wait a minute. What day is it? Okay, it's January. I was thinking that Mardi Gras had passed. Nope. Oh my goodness. All right. Papier Plume. I don't know how long they've been around, but I was in New Orleans for a library conference about almost 10 years ago. And I was walking around in the French Quarter. And I think that's where they're based, but I don't know if they were in business back then. But of course, I was not into fountain pens 10 years ago, so even if I had walked past their store, I wouldn't have paid any attention to them. So I'll just have to go back. Oh wow, this is much lighter than I thought it would be. But there are several purples in this batch, so we'll get to compare them at the end. Ooh, he's trying to drip. Almost. Nope. He's being very stubborn. Whoops. Oh, I could have reused the other end of that swab, but I forgot. I was distracted. All right, and next up we have J. Urban Bleu Myosotis. Myosotis. I wonder what that means. They have lovely names. French is such a beautiful language. Ooh, this is flowing right off of the nib. And that is Bleu Myo. I hope I'm spelling that right. Myosotis. Myosotis. It's definitely flowing off the pen much easier than the first two did. Make sure he's nice and clean. All right. And I've heard that these J. Urban inks are very gentle and very well behaved. That is a beautiful blue color. Oh, my card's trying to move all over the place. I have another, well, I shouldn't say another. I have one J. Urban ink. I can't think of the name of it. It's blue. Of course it's blue. What else would I buy? It was one of the first that I purchased. I got it over at the Norfolk Stationery. But I can't think of the name of it. It'll come to me. That's very nice. Very wet. right, next up we have Tibaldi Blue. That's a brand I've never heard of before. I'm sure we could fill a book with all of the pen and ink brands I haven't heard of before, but that just means there's that much more to explore. Tibaldi. That name is familiar. Was he a poet, a composer, an author? I can't remember. The name is familiar. Ooh, and that's making the water very blue. Yes, I'm glad I put some paper down because I'm just getting ink all over the place. That's half the fun. Wow, this one is super dark. It's a dark purpley blue. But he doesn't seem very wet. Come on, honey, get off that Q-tip. He doesn't want to. He likes it on the Q-tip. See if I can get a drip out of him. I'm thinking no. Nope. Nope. No drips here. All right, next up we have Diatramentis Jane Austen. I've heard about this one. Are there two inks called Jane Austen? Why am I thinking there's a organic studio ink called Jane Austen? I could be wrong. Let's see. Well, my camera pooped out on me. But I think what I was saying was, it's unfortunate that people don't learn Shakespeare, don't learn to love it, because it's so beautiful. I just love Shakespeare. And now that I get it, I can sit down and read it, and I just love it. And I think I've mentioned before, if you are interested in trying to get to know Shakespeare, I highly recommend the movies of Kenneth Branagh. Am I spelling that right? Turquoise. Mint turquoise. Yes, Kenneth Branagh. He is brilliant. I love him. And the first movie of his I ever saw, which I think was his first movie, was Henry V. And it is breathtaking. So it's long. Shakespeare plays tend to be very long. But give it a chance, and he will make you love Shakespeare too. They're just fabulous. So I've seen a bunch of his movies, including some non-Shakespearean movies. But Henry V just has a special place in my heart because that was the first one. And why did I put that sample away? See, I'm distracting myself with Shakespeare. My goodness. But don't think every film adaptation of Shakespeare is a good one, because one of the things that we talked about in that class in high school was the adaptation of the Mel Gibson adaptation of Hamlet, which I think had just come out at the time that I was in that class. Mel Gibson and Glenn Close, and oh my goodness, it was dreadful. So yeah, not every Shakespeare version is a good one, but Kenneth Branagh generally does some really good ones. All right, not getting any drips here either. That's okay. I got some spots. Spots are good. All right, who do we have next? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just making sure that I have as many cards as I have samples. Because once I start rambling, I'll just forget what I'm doing. Okay, so this is Robert Oster's, yes, whew, goodness gracious, Robert Oster Sydney Lavender. And this is the one that Amanda B talks about a lot, so I'm looking forward to this one. And I've been exploring Robert Oster inks lately, and I have finally purchased some. Well, I should say purchased more than one. I had the first one that I purchased that I wasn't thrilled with, and that was Frankly Blue. And it was really nothing against the ink. I bought it at my first pen show in Baltimore in 2018, and it's called Frankly Blue, but it just doesn't look blue to me. And I was upset that it didn't look blue. Because, you know, I was at my first pen show and I wanted to buy a pretty ink. And that just wasn't what I thought I was buying. So I'm upset with the circumstances, not with the ink. And I shouldn't hold it against the ink. It's kind of a teal and it's nice. But I just haven't really given it a chance because I'm upset about the circumstances under which I purchased it. I shouldn't hold it against the ink. Ooh, that's very nice. That's kind of a dusty purple. Very pretty. Robert Oster. He knows how to do some inks. Ooh, and it looks like there's some interesting undertones. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm trying to get some drips here, and I'm just making a mess, but that's okay. Okay, how well can we see this? How close can I get without losing focus? Can we see that? Of course, we need to let this dry, but I'm seeing some blue undertones in there. But I swear, ever since I got that Milky Ocean, I think every ink is a multi-shading ink. We're going to let him dry and see how he turns out. Oh, Milky Ocean, wherefore art thou, Milky Ocean? I check that website every day to see if they've opened up orders. If anybody ever hears about them opening up orders, let me know, because I will be pouncing on their website instantly. I guess I shouldn't be greedy. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even tell you what this ink was. This is KWC Grapefruit, which I have heard many good things about from many different people. So I'm quite excited to try it. But I feel like I'm being greedy because I have a bottle of Milky Ocean, and so many people haven't even had the chance to try it yet. But I love that ink so much, all I can think about is getting a backup bottle in case they stop making it. Oh, but I hope they will get back into production. And oh my goodness, what if it's like Birmingham Pens? Birmingham Pens had all of these inks and they were so pretty, and they stopped production for a while, and now they have started reproducing them, but in a slightly different way, and the inks are slightly different. What if they change my Milky Ocean? Oh, I will be heartbroken. And some of the Sailor Manio inks, I did it again. I can't put the sample away before I do the swatch. Oh, my mouth is running away with me. But some of the Sailor Manio inks are close to Milky Ocean, but honestly, there is just nothing like Milky Ocean. It is so beautiful and so amazing. And this grapefruit, my goodness, this is pretty too. Let's see if we got a drip here. Oh, I'm seeing a drip. Very exciting. And I think there's a smell. What am I smelling? I don't know. It smells interesting. I know some of the other KWZ inks smell kind of sweet. I wouldn't call this one sweet, but there's definitely something there. I don't know. But anyway, that's a beautiful ink, and that's going to be lovely when it dries. All right, what is next? Diamine Pumpkin, another pretty orange and a very popular orange. Let's see. Oh, he's very bright. Pumpkin. I think there are some people that feel that orange is best in the fall, and they don't use it too much the rest of the year. And then there are the orange aficionados who just want to use orange all the time. So which category do you fall into, or do you like orange at all? I would say I generally don't like orange, but when fall comes, I love it. Around September, I did it again. I put the sample away before I swatched it. But somewhere around September, something in my brain shifts, and all my brain wants is orange, orange, orange. And then we get to the new year, and nope, time to put the orange away. Of course, the seasons here in Virginia are so crazy. I mean, it's the beginning of January, and it's like 60 degrees outside. So it could be fall. It could feel like fall outside. Along about February, it'll be about 20 degrees outside and snowing. Whoop! Oh my goodness. Poor Mr. Q-Tip. I squeezed him too hard. Sorry, Mr. Q-Tip. I'm just trying to get my drips. Oh, nobody thought they would see a Q-Tip massacre today. Good heavens. They're going to flag my video as inappropriate. Okay. All right, the final three. This is Colorverse Laurel. And this one should be interesting. I've never heard of this ink either. I do love some Colorverse inks. And I have quite a few more than I thought I did. I swear, every time I go over to the Norfolk Stationery, they have some on sale. And if you're familiar with Colorverse, the first few rounds of their inks came out as 2-bottle packages, a big bottle and a little bottle. And they were somewhere around $35, $36 a piece, which is a lot for ink. I mean, you know, some ink is going for $7, $8 a bottle, even though it's a small bottle. But to buy 2 bottles at once and pay over $30 for it, that's just quite an investment for some people. Especially when it's so hard to get through ink. You know, you don't want to buy a gallon of it because you'll be using it forever. Which is why I question my purchase of that gallon-sized bottle of Heart of Darkness I have. But that's a conversation for another day. But anyway, they always seem to be having sales on the Colorverse inks, and I just can't resist. And I think I've gotten about, like 5 or 6 of them over there. And they must love seeing me come. But I haven't been over there in a while. I missed them. I need to go check on them and make sure they're okay. Well, that is lovely. Now, would we call that an emerald green? Ooh, and it's flowing very nicely. Yes, Colorverse inks do seem to flow nicely. That is quite lovely. All right, and set him aside. And you can't play with ink without getting it on your fingers. I do enjoy watching other people's fountain pen and ink videos. And I was watching a video by a young woman the other day. Gosh, it's not the first time I've watched it. I've watched it more than once, but now I can't remember what her name is. Goodness, I can't remember. But anyway, she was, let's give our pen, our ink name. This is Birmingham Pens Phipps Conservatory Verbena. Now, I would be interested to know if this is the old formulation or the new formulation. I have a feeling it might be the old one, but I'm not sure. But anyway, she was talking about how she was using fountain pens and she was really enjoying it, but she always got ink on her fingers. I mean, you know, here's my ink right there, and it goes all the way around. There's some orange right there. Ink, fountain pens, they're just, I don't even have words. They're creative and artistic, and they're just visceral and tactile. It's not about neat and tidy. It's about the messiness of creation. Let me write this. Birmingham pen. Sometimes I can write and talk at the same time, but not apparently with this one because the name is long. Phipps Conservatory Verbena. But anyway, it's part of the creative process. It's, you know, messy and abundant and overflowing, and it's not neat and tidy and perfect and sedate and conservative. It's outrageous. It overflows. And I think that's a good thing. I mean, when you cook, do you worry about making a mess in the kitchen? I mean, people who enjoy cooking, you know, they use 10 different pots and they get stuff all over the stove, and there's things running down the sink, and there's just stuff all over the place. And I hear Gus barking at something. But it's just part of that creative process. If you're cooking in the kitchen and you're too afraid of making a mess, it's just gonna, what's the word? It's gonna stymie your creativity. It's going to, you know, block up your enjoyment of the process. Part of the process is getting out there and making a big old mess. And part of the fun of fountain pens is making a big old mess. Now, when you're done cooking, you clean up, you put everything away, and then the kitchen is neat again. And, you know, you play with your pens and inks, and then when you're done, you put everything away. It's just part of the process. You know, kids get their toys out and play with them, and then they put them away. I mean, do we tell kids never to take their toys out because we don't want them to make a mess? Well, I think some parents do, but part of the fun of play, any kind of play, is making a mess. Monteverde Purple Mist, and this is our final ink of the swatch. And I feel like I'm quite on my soapbox today. I hope I'm not offending anyone, but I just don't want people to be held back by, you know, the fear of a mess. And I understand that some people do have issues with messes and things, you know. Sorry, Monteverde. You know, they have phobias or things like that, you know, it really bothers them if they have things on their hands. And maybe that's how she is. I'm not sure. I haven't watched a lot of her other videos. But it's just, it's part of that whole, you know, cult of perfection that we seem to have on the internet these days. And it just bothers me. I was listening to somebody else's video and she was talking about making her bullet journal, and oh, she kept messing up and she was having to tape all the pages together because she messed them up. Who cares if you messed it up? If you look back 10 years from now and you see your mistakes, then you'll say, oh, I remember when I did that. Oh, look how much I've grown. Look how much I've changed. If everything looks perfect on the outside, then we can never see our progress. Okay, no more preaching, I promise. But don't be afraid of your pens, and don't be afraid of your inks. Enjoy them, play with them. Just like you played with finger paints when you were a kid, play with those fountain pen inks. Oh my goodness, that is lovely. And I have to say it, I'm seeing some undertones here. That is beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to let these dry a little bit. And I'm going to straighten up my area a little bit. And, oop, uh-oh. Nope, I didn't spill. I didn't spill. I have yet to have an ink catastrophe. Knock on wood. But I will come back and we will take a look at these after they have dried. So I will see you soon. Okay, so I'm back. I have given the ink samples a chance to dry, and I have gotten down off of my soapbox, and I am perfectly calm. I do have to say, while I was away, I did a little bit of looking on the internet, and one of my favorite people is Julia Child. And Julia Child always said, never apologize. She meant never apologize for your mistakes in the kitchen. So when you're serving food to people, don't apologize about it. Just serve it and, you know, go with the flow. But I feel the same way about creative things. You know, don't apologize. It's all part of the learning process. It's all part of your experience. And there I go preaching again. So that's our lesson for today. Don't apologize. Go boldly into the future. Oh, and she also said have fun. Don't apologize, and above all, have fun. Which is what I try to do. I have a great time, and I hope you do too. Okay, so let's have a little bit closer look at our inks here. This is the Sailor Tokiwamatsu. And let me see, there's quite a bit of red sheen on here, but my light is not cooperating. The area that looks dark is actually red sheen, and it's very pretty. If you could only see what I see. And it's just not going to cooperate, is it? Not seeing the sheen. Okay. Anyway, a lovely green with some red sheen. Here is the Tibaldi blue. Also, the dark areas have some red sheen. And I just briefly looked up Tibaldi. They're an Italian pen company. Who knew? I never heard of them before. All right, here we have Purple Mist. Ah, light and ethereal, just like mist. So pretty. And here is G, it's actually G Urban. G Urban. Bleu, Myosotis. A lovely blue. Shoot, I should have looked to see what my ink is that I have by J Urban. Can't remember. It's a blue one. All right, there is Jane Austen from Diatramentis. Nice green. The shaded area is just green. I don't see any sheen on it, but it's a lovely green color. And then we have Robert Auster, Sydney Lavender, a nice dusky purple. And right here in the corner, I don't know if you can see that, that is a very interesting looking purple splotch. It looks kind of pink in the middle. It's very hard to see on camera. But this is a lovely ink with a lot of complexity. I don't see any sheen, but I do see some streaks in this bottom area that seem like purples and blues and different colors. So a very pretty ink. I understand why Amanda B likes it so much. All right, here is Diamine Pumpkin. And there might be a tiny hint of some sheen around that dot right there, but pretty much a low sheener. But some nice shading in the orange color there. I meant to do a comparison of orange inks this fall, but I just never got around to it. But I would like to compare Diamine Pumpkin with Diamine Autumn Oak. I think Autumn Oak is such a pretty color. Again, I would not say that I'm a fan of orange, but I love Autumn Oak. And I also love Ancient Copper, which again is that kind of orangey brown color. I think Ancient Copper is so beautiful, but I don't like orange. According to me, I don't know. All right, this is Diatramentis Mint Turquoise. That it's not showing up on the camera very well. It's a very pale green, a pale bluish green. And again, those dark areas, they just look dark. I don't see any sheen on them. But very pretty, and it looks much lighter in the swatch than it does up here with the writing. So even though the ink would seem to be light here, in the actual writing, it's certainly dark enough to be readable. So keep that in mind. Of course, a glass pen is usually going to lay down more ink than a nib would. But if you're interested in a color like this, you could certainly try it in some different nib sizes and see what works for you. So if you have a find that writes really wet, you could probably get some great writing out of this ink. And for some reason, I have several vintage pens. It seems like they all write very wetly. They have really fine nibs, but they lay down tons of ink. So it's very interesting. All right, this is Papier Plume Mardi Gras Indians Purple. And this again is a lovely dusty purple. And the dark splotch area there is just dark. I don't see any sheen. And I was going to compare these two guys. Let's see. So the Papier Plume certainly looks a little brighter and a little redder. And the Sydney Lavender is kind of fading towards gray. So both purple, but both different, and both lovely in their own ways. All right, here we have KWZ Grapefruit, and my goodness, is that a vibrant color. Whew! It is just jumping off the card at me. And here in this darker area, I don't see any sheen, but it looks like this would be a good shader. I see a lot of things going on in here. And then let's compare it to our other orange. We have Diamine Pumpkin. And Diamine Pumpkin is a lighter, brighter color, but the KWZ is so vibrant. I don't know if you guys can see that so well. But it is just, it's almost like a neon orange, the grapefruit. It is so intense. But I would also call pumpkin a bright color, and if you compare the writing, the Diamine Pumpkin is certainly a bright orange, but the KWZ is just eye-popping. Oh my goodness, it's so intense. Very pretty. All right. Well, here's another orange for me to add to my orange comparison if I ever get around to doing it. And I feel like I missed my opportunity for this year. I didn't do the orange comparison in the fall, and now I feel like I need to wait until next fall to do the orange comparison, but that's not true. I can do an orange comparison whenever, but it just feels appropriate for fall. So let me know what you think about that, if you'd like to see some orange comparisons. Okay, here is the Birmingham Pen Phipps Conservatory Verbena. And I don't know why I'm thinking about verbena being green, but I guess verbena is a little purple flower. I don't know. For some reason I was thinking it was going to be green. Now it's a lovely dusty purple, again like our other dusty purples, but in this dark area here I'm seeing a lot of blue. Can I get that closer for you guys? Ooh, yeah, you can kind of see that. You see in the middle how it's kind of blue looking? I know it's hard to see on the camera, but there's a lot of stuff going on in there. Very cool. And let's have a little comparison here. There's our Mardi Gras purple. A dusty purple, but a bit lighter. And here is the Robert Oster Sydney Lavender. A much cooler color, much closer to gray than the verbena. But they're both very nice. And finally, we have Colorverse Laurel. Ooh, that's got some nice red sheen on it. And again, can you guys see that? Probably not. Sometimes things turn out on the camera better than I think they are. But just me looking at my phone, I can't see much. You can sort of see some sheen on there. Am I making you guys dizzy? Anyway, the little outline of the dark area here has some very nice red sheen. It might actually be kind of pink, kind of magenta. Interesting. Still never saw the red sheen on this Tokiwamatsu, but that's okay. Now these are very different colors. This one's much more of an olive kind of color, and this is kind of a dark emerald. Very pretty. All right. Well, I'm going to have to look at some more Colorverse colors. I just love Colorverse ink. And there are certainly plenty more for me to explore, because like I said, I've never heard of this Laurel. But there we are. There's that wire again. These are our swatching inks for the day. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit here. Ooh, my poor phone stand held together with rubber bands. We're doing okay. Waste not, want not. All right, the less I spend on phone stands, the more money I have to spend on pens and inks, right? Okay, there we go. I just wanted to zoom in a little bit. I think that's closer. Okay, well, that is all for our first ink swatching of this year. Our first Swatching Sunday of 2021. And this was all thanks to Sara over at Fountain Pen Insanity. Ooh, and I forgot our little doodads here. I guess I zoomed in too close. Where's the other guy? Oh, here it is. See, I was going to have all this stuff set up for you to look at while I was talking, but I was talking and I got distracted. So these were the Tiltwell items that she sent me, and then the lovely samples that she sent me. So we have more Fountain Pen Friend swatchings to come, so stay tuned until next time. And I hope you have a great week, and I hope you have a lot of fun with your pens and inks. And make a mess, have a great time, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.